Why are they important in my z-scores? To start, what is a z-score? A z-score is a point that tells you how far away you are from the mean of a standard deviation chart. As you know, the majority of the people that will be in a standard deviation graph will be in the middle. Why is this important? Well, this tells us an area where you may be strong in, you may not be as strong in, or an area where you might not need to put as much focus. As an example, if there's an athlete with a great VO2 max who is a football player who needs to work on his strength, by using the z-score, we can determine that this athlete needs to put more emphasis on training strength or in some other areas compared to conditioning. I'll now show you my z-scores. The tests that I use today are my VO2 max, my 1.5 mile run, and the YMCA bench press test. For my VO2 max, I have a VO2 max of 56. For my 1.5 mile run, my time was 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And for my YMCA bench press test, I got about 40 reps. In all three of these exercises that were accomplished, I landed on the 90th percentile for all of them. Comparing them to the tables that are shown in chapter 13, these as well show that the exercises that I did will land me on the 90th percentile. I plugged in my z-scores onto the Excel sheet that Dr. Hall gave us. And for my VO2 max, it came out to 1.28. I as well plugged in my z-score for my 1.5 mile run. I got negative 1.20. And lastly, I plugged in the information that was needed for my YMCA bench press test. That one, I got a z-score of 1.285. The way that you would find your z-score is by taking the number that you have finished a test with. As an example, if you have done a YMCA bench press test, for me, I got 40 reps. You would take that number and subtract the mean. And then once you have the difference between those two, you would divide it by the standard deviation. For this, I used a calculator online called Net Calculator to find both the mean and the standard deviation. That allowed the process for me to find these numbers easier. Now, what does that say about me as an athlete? Now, to give you a little bit of background about myself, I am a track runner who, at his best, has ran middle distance, who has ran long distances as well, and who has sprinted. but the majority of my career has been spent in middle distance. That includes 400 meters and 800 meters of racing, which are the quarter mile and the half mile. A lot of my training consists of lactic threshold workouts, workouts where I am pushing myself in a aerobic sense, where my muscles are using oxygen and it is burning up. It is building up, excuse me, and being replaced by lactic acid. And I was trained to run through that. Hence the numbers that I got. Now, the training that one may have will go into these Z scores, of course, based on performance. The great thing is you can look at these scores, whether you're an athlete or non-athlete, who have done these tests, and as I said earlier, can see areas where you may need improvement. As for me, my capacity to train for long periods of time are solid for where I'm at as a collegiate athlete. However, there may be another part where I am not as solid in, and this gives me an opportunity to look at this. And in conclusion, I looked at my Z scores. I saw what I was strong in. I saw areas where I needed improvement in, and it gave me a baseline for goals that I can set for myself in the future. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and may you have a wonderful day.